A girl who started advocating for girls' education in a third world country at the ripe old age of 11. A girl who did that despite knowing it would place her directly in opposition to the Taliban. A girl whose story is nothing short of inspiring, but who has faced some heavy challenges and criticism throughout it. This is the story of Malala Yousafzai and the dilemma surrounding this Nobel Peace Prize winner. Born on July 12, 1997 in Mingora, Pakistan, Malala was the first child and daughter of Ziauddin Yousafzai, who ran a simple girls' school in the area. Due to her father's profession and growing up in a beautiful Swat Valley, she had a passion for learning since the beginning. However, her world shifted upside down when the Taliban took control of the Swat Valley. Now when she turned 10, they banned girls from attending schools and had destroyed more than 400 schools in the valley. However, instead of being scared and obeying their rules, Malala started advocating for girls' education.
Some breaking news out of Pakistan. New hope for the brave young girl who was shot in the head for speaking out against the Taliban.
At 11 years old, she wrote an anonymous blog to BBC Urdu under the name Gul Makai. Her first entry was titled "I Am Afraid" and was meant to capture international attention towards the problem of girls' education in her area. Now, this brought her recognition from all over the world. Her fearlessness and efforts were applauded and praised globally. In 2011, she was nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize, and she also received Pakistan's National Youth Peace Prize. Unfortunately, though, it was the same recognition that made her a target in the eyes of the Taliban. On October 9, 2012, she was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman as she was returning home from school. Now, the agenda behind the attack was clear. They wanted her silenced because she was boldly opposing them and revealing their cruelties. But the attack had a completely opposite effect. Soon after the attack, she was flown to Birmingham, England for surgery. Now, the whole world witnessed her fight for her life, and her recovery from the attack was a symbol of hope and patience for everybody globally. Now, it wasn't too long before she became an international icon for education and human rights. In 2014, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize along with Kailash Satyarthi for their efforts for children's rights, making her the youngest person to hold the award. Malala continued her education in Birmingham while also engaging in advocacy work. Now, she started giving inspiring speeches around the world. Her address to the United Nations on her 18th birthday was a powerful speech in and of itself. Now, she also wrote an autobiography titled "I Am Malala," which gave an insight into her journey and made her position as a global advocate for education all the more cemented. As the years passed, she used her writings and her speeches to highlight all the problems that existed in education for girls, inspiring a whole global movement around it. Her hard work led to awareness being spread amongst the whole world and active efforts being made to improve the quality of education for children worldwide. But her advocacy wasn't just limited to books and speeches. She did practical work too to change the situation in education and act on her words. She established the Malala Fund, which she co-founded with her dad. Now, this fund is meant to support education projects around the world, especially for underprivileged girls. The fund has done a lot so far. It's provided support to Syrian refugees in Jordan, empowered young women in Kenya, and also taken a stand against extremist groups like Boko Haram in Nigeria, which ban girls' education just like the Taliban. She's always focused on empowering young girls and fighting for their rights, specifically for their right to education. And her efforts are visible through the workings of the Malala Fund. So far, Malala has funded multiple educational projects and partnered with global leaders to drive change and make sure that her message of education goes everywhere.
And if world leaders are serious about the future of children, then they have to be serious about education. And this is what I did at the UNGA.
Of course, this high amount of success comes with its own fair share of challenges. Despite whatever the world thinks of her, she is significantly criticized in her home country of Pakistan. Now, their biggest concern is why Malala hasn't done anything for the girls or children of their own country so far. To them, it's about staying true and loyal to your home country. After all, there are people like Abdul Sattar Eddy who have dedicated their whole lives to humanitarian efforts in Pakistan. Malala has only so far used her platform to promote her own interest, and she has completely abandoned the cause that she started out with. Now, in Pakistan, she's basically done nothing to improve the situation for girls' education, and all she's been doing is gaining international recognition for focusing on her causes. All of this criticism about her is further fueled by ideas that her whole story is manipulated by foreign interests. Now recently, she collaborated with Hillary Clinton on the musical Suffs. Now this collaboration, coupled with her stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict, sparked a lot of controversy. She has been accused of intentionally allying with figures and causes that don't align with the sentiments in Pakistan. Now, her silence on the Israeli aggression in Gaza led to a lot of people calling her a sellout. To make matters all the worse, her father had some ties and connections with foreign agencies before her shooting, which has given a lot of people reason to believe that her rise to fame was, well, not necessarily organic. With her being labeled a hypocrite and believed to be under Western influence, her image in Pakistan is controversial, just to say the least. Many critics in Pakistan also claimed that the attacks on Malala was completely staged to gain her international sympathy and support. In May of 2017, a Pakistani minister claimed that the incident was scripted, which made her figure all the more controversial. According to these claims, her whole story is manipulated and written in a way as to serve some foreign agendas. I mean, after all, there were other girls injured in that attack, but nobody ever mentions them. Now the question arises, why was she the only one of the victims who got global recognition?
Hoping that the voice of a teenage girl who took a bullet in standing up for her education would be heard.
The Western media has no doubt portrayed Malala as an exceptional and inspiring figure. In the midst of this, the critiques and concerns raised by Pakistani and Muslim cultures are overshadowed. In fact, their concerns fuel the opinions about them being backward and oppressive. Now, Malala's global fame comes with the biggest challenge of all, balancing her roots with international expectation. Now, her work through the Malala Fund, which has supported many education projects around the globe, shows her dedication to solving the problems in girls' education. However, she still needs to address the criticism directed at her from her hometown, with people over there feeling like she hasn't done enough for education locally and has only garnered international praise. There is a controversy that surrounds her. Now, she needs to start staying true to her hometown while continuing her goodwill work globally. She ought to directly address all those concerns, focus on solving local issues, and ensure the funds gathered through the fund help the people of her own country as well. But despite all this critique, what she's done for education globally is something that nobody can deny. Her story has motivated so many other people to do the same, and she has single-handedly brought significant attention to the problems arising in girls' education. She's battled social justice issues and has even made significant financial contributions to Palestinian organizations. Not only that, but she's also advocated for refugees and in general fought for all types of human rights and equality. Now, she's dedicated to making a positive change in the world, and she's using her voice in the Malala Fund to achieve her goals. However, she still needs to bridge the gap between her global image and the local perceptions regarding her. She ought to directly cater to issues within Pakistan. She can start by addressing these issues and raising her voice against them, supporting local schools, improving educational infrastructure, and working with the Pakistan community are only some of the things that she can do to show her commitment to her roots. Now, despite everything, her story, with its ups and downs, is a beacon of hope and an inspiration to a lot of people across the globe. So what are your thoughts on Malala? Y'all think that she needs to do more for her local community in Pakistan? Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.